What's going on with Relay Sports? Back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Mitch Marner and Nick Roy trade between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs and Mitch Marner, they didn't mutually part ways, but they sort of did without announcing they did. I think both sides wanted to move on from this 9-year journey, of course, that got started in 2015 when the Leafs drafted Marner at number 4 overall. So obviously, it's been a long road, and Mitch Marner has been one of the greater Leafs of all time. You know, in terms of the numbers, not many did it better than Marner. Every season he was able to put up the numbers. This year coming off a 100-point season and, a couple 99-point seasons before that. Mitch Marner, obviously, he was, statistically, he was one of the best Leafs to do it. And of course, he's one of those guys that will always be remembered for being a Toronto Maple Leaf. Now, I think he's going to be a very successful player in Vegas, and I think he could possibly win a cup there. They're a really good team that's built to win. And every single season they go all in for it. But the Leafs had to, like Tree Living's been saying, change their DNA. And of course, Mitch Marner was he was the quickest to have his contract expiring, which was, of course, this year. So he was kind of the easiest to move off of. Although I think he was the one guy that, if you were to make a move to the core four, if you were to change that DNA, he would be the odd man out just because of the way he's played in the playoffs. He has not stepped up in the playoffs, to the level that the Leafs need him to at what he gets paid. Mitch Marner didn't take a pay cut with the Leafs in his first contract. He was set to hold out. If they weren't going to pay him, he threatened to go to Switzerland. It was ugly, and his father was at the forefront of kind of, the ugliness. But, Marner played over almost 700 games here as a Leaf. He had over 700 points. Just a tremendous regular season player. It's just that when the games mattered more, he could not elevate his game and take that to the next step. He's 28 years of age, so he still has tons of good hockey left. And, of course, he signed an 8-year, $12 million per season deal, which, of course, is worth $96 million. And Vegas said the reason that they wanted to sign and trade was to get that 8th year. If they didn't have the 8th year, they would have had to give him $13.7 per season to get to that magic number, $96 million. But Marner's going to be very good for Vegas, and, I agree with the decision for the Leafs to move on from him, and, he was a great player here, and he deserves to not be a Maple Leaf, but, obviously wish him nothing but being a hometown kid, being drafted by the Maple Leafs. Mitch has said it for a long time. This is his dream come true to be able to wear the Maple Leaf, represent the Leafs, being a hometown kid where he grew up loving the game as a fan. Obviously, a dream come true for him, and he was able to live out his time being a Leaf. And Mitch Marner will always be remembered as a Toronto Maple Leaf, but of course now he's a Vegas Golden Knight, and it's time for the Leafs to move on, and they will bring in Nicolas Roy, who is also 28 years of age. He played 71 games last year. He had 31 points. He's a 6'4", over 200-pound center who's played just shy of 400 career NHL games and 80 career playoff games. So he's got the experience in the playoffs. He's a perfect sized third-line center for the Leafs. That's likely where he slots in. He's got 2 more seasons at $3 million per before he's a UFA. And that just seems like it's a really good deal for what he is. A really good big body third-line center, something the Leafs have been missing for a long time. A presence at center in the middle of the lineup. So he'll likely slot into that third line center spot. And an incredibly good contract at just $3 million for the next 2 seasons. It leaves the Leafs with a ton of flexibility. Their cap situation right now is super, super healthy. And assuming Nicolas plays well this year, over the next 2 years, but especially this season, a year from now, July 1st next year, if he has a good year, the Leafs are going to be looking to re-sign him. It's a 2-year deal left on his contract, but I think the plan here for the Leafs is for him to be a Leaf for a while here. In a year from now, exactly, I would think the Leafs would look to extend him on a 4 or 5 year deal, but of course, the Leafs will cross that bridge when the time comes. It's a good return for the Leafs. It's good that we can get anything. Mitch was a UFA. There didn't have to be a sign and trade. Normally there isn't sign and trades, especially for a player of this magnitude. So the fact that we were even able to get anything for Mitch Marner, it's great. Not only a very impact player in Nicolas Waugh. So fantastic for the Leafs. Really excited to see what the rest of the offseason holds, what the Leafs decide to do with the roster. But you guys let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. What do you think of this sign and trade? I wish Mitch Marner nothing but the best moving forward, but I like Nick Waugh. It's a good pickup for Leafs. Let me know the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like in the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys all in the next video, and as always, go Leafs, go.